You're listening to WGAB The GabCast by the Gabber newspaper, your source of news for Gulfport, St. Pete, and the beaches. Hey everybody, welcome back. This week, Cameron is going to go over our full calendar of amazing things to do and see this summer. But first, let's go over to the newsroom where Ethan is going to break down the Gulfport City Charter review. Thanks, Ethan. Welcome back to the newsroom.
There's new developments.
This just in, there are new developments with the Gulfport City Charter review. At this City Council's first meeting on April 1st, Mayor Karen Love initiated what's called a charter review. The city's charter is a lot like the city's constitution, and the charter review is when every 10 years, the city puts together a committee to potentially review and make changes to the city's charter. At the May 20th City Council meeting, Council indicated which sections of the charter they want the committee to look at. And they gave a big list of sections that they want the committee to look at and potentially change. And you can see that whole list in the May 29th issue. But there's 5 sections in particular that they all agreed on, and those are the sections that the committee are going to start with. And these sections are Section 103, Section 302, Section 305, Section 306, and Section 1005. Section 302 is called terms, and it's the part of the charter that says which elected officials are elected for which numbers of years. And so it talks about how the mayor is elected for 3 years, city council members are elected for 2 years. And so multiple council members indicated that they want that section reviewed and potentially changed. Another section is prohibitions. It's the section that prohibits council members from directing or requesting actions from city staff, which is basically saying that city council can't directly order city staff to do anything. They have to go through the city manager, which is how the city is structured. There was an article about that in the Gabber back in April, if you want to go back and read that. They also wanted to look at Section 306, which is about vacancies, which is if there's a vacancy on the council, it talks about how and when those vacancies are filled. So they mentioned that one. For potential changes, Section 1005, which is about financial risks that the city is allowed to take, and then Section 103, which is extraterritorial powers, which basically talks about how the city can interact with pieces of land, whether by purchasing or renting, that are outside of the city limits. So those are the 5 sections that the Charter Review Committee is going to look at first and potentially recommend changes for. Like I said, there's a whole list of other sections that council wanted to look at, but these are the ones that we're going to look at first. At the meeting, Mayor Love requested that the council not give their reasons or their opinions as to what needed to be changed or why those sections needed to be changed. So we don't know any of that from the council members at this point. You can read all about it and more about Charter Review at thegabber.com and in our past issues. But now I'm going to kick it over to Cam, and she's going to talk about all the fun and amazing things that you can do in Pinellas County this summer.
Hi everyone, welcome back to WGAB The GabCast. I'm Cameron, and today I will be giving you a summer guide of things to do in Pinellas County, specifically South Pinellas. So I have events for June, July, and August. What time is it? Summertime. That's what I'm giving you. Summer things to do. For our Gabber guide, we have arts events, theater, history, food, and markets. So much to look forward to. So since it's June, let's start there. I have, I'm assuming they have it like a fun little rhyme. Pour and tour. I would say tour. On June 14th, have a morning mimosa, then enjoy a guided art tour through the Museum of American Arts and Crafts movement. Then on June 29th, there is another arts tour called the Arts and Nature Sunset Tour. Start with a nature-inspired tour at the Museum of Fine Arts, then take an art-inspired nature sunset cruise with Tampa Bay Watch. In July, the Brenda McMahon Gallery hosts its first ever themed group art show called We the People. This exhibit shows what democracy looks like through art. That will be happening from July 1st through August 30th. And Indie Fleet is back in St. Pete, everybody's favorite market. I'm assuming it's everybody's. I like it. It's finally back in St. Pete at the St. Pete Coliseum on July 13th, which is fantastic because there'll be air conditioning. I was never a fan of being outside with that many people around, with that many booths close to each other. So this will be fantastic. I'm excited specifically for vintage, jewelry, clothes, home decor, and they have other stuff like food, music. There's a bunch of vendors. There's literally something for everybody. Like actually for everybody. So do not miss out on that. I suggest going right when it opens so then you're not stuck in this huge crowd of people. It feels suffocating. That's my suggestion as a active shopaholic. So anyways, in August, we have the 14th annual Great St. Pete Cupcake Contest. Another thing I would like to start with is I love sweets. So I will be going to this. I will be checking out everybody's work. The Moran Center is in search of the most artistic cupcakes. So since you're listening to this in June, you still have plenty of time. If you are an artistic baker, you still have time to enter and be a part of the competition. You can also go as a viewer and buy mini cupcakes. I will be doing that. Lastly, Gecko Fest, Gecko Fest, Gecko Fest, Gecko Fest. August 30th, guys. Saturday, August 30th. Up and down Beach Boulevard. Music, vendors, food trucks, street performers, bubbles, art. Literally everybody and their mom will be there. Literally, that's who lives in Gulfport. So, if you do not know what Gecko Fest is, it is a part of a month-long celebration of the quirkiness of Gulfport and its unofficial, official mascot, a gecko. Yay! So cute. Gecko Fest is an all-day event starting from about, I think it's 10 a.m. to 8 or 10 p.m. So you can come in and out. You can spend the whole day. You can just go for a little bit, a couple of hours, just do a little stroll around. And don't forget to watch the parade. All right, well, that was my summer things to do guide in South Pinellas County. Check out all of those events online at thegabber.com. See y'all next time.
All right, folks. Well, thank you for tuning in to WGAB The GabCast. Until next time, you can get all your Gulfport, St. Pete, and the Beaches news at thegabber.com. This episode was recorded and edited by me, Nicole Vogler, with additional recording by Cameron Healy, the editor-in-chief of the Gabber newspaper. And the music you heard throughout this episode was made by Cyberwave Orchestra. Thank you to all of you for tuning in. And to steal a line from Ethan, we have been the Gabber, and this has been the GabCast. We'll see you next time.